Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
What up, Tech? Hey, talk to the people for a minute. I'm still trying to get connected on the Instagram so we can stream live on Instagram real quick.
Word. Greetings to everybody. If you're not rocking with us, this is your first time. This is how we operate. We start off with a little bit of greetings. Shout outs to everybody who's watching us. And then we'll go into our main topic of the day. Then we'll have some pass or trash where we talk about your notary website. Then we'll go into the money corner. And then we'll finish off with some wise words so that you guys can go and take some action today. So welcome, guys. If you never rocked with us before, that's how we flow. That's how we glow. I'm coming to you from the great state of California, the Golden Coast, where everything is wonderful, palm trees, and I'm building a life that I'm trying to, a lifestyle that incorporates my family and also my son so that I can take him wherever I go. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram. This is how we rock, y'all. Notary Insights show with Tiger Toledo and Tech Amaku. Quick to sock you. Don't let me rock you. And then, if you got questions, put them in the chat, man. We answer everything. We read everything.
What you was doing, man? Spitting a hot 16? Tech spitting a hot 16 on the live.
Hey, man, if you put on the beat, we can freestyle. That's how we do it.
Yo, I can beatbox, though, bro. I can beatbox.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's Tech Amaku. Quick to sock you. Like I said, don't let me stop you. My socks blue, but my
live from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, man. People would come for that. We can do that next time.
I was the neighborhood beatboxer, bro. I was doing it for my daughter the other day. She was laughing her ass off. She don't believe me. I was like, yo, I had the block on Smash, man. I was the neighborhood fat boy. I wasn't fat, but I was, you know what I mean? I was the human beatbox. I was doing my thing.
Straight up.
Yeah, today, man, we got a great show, man. I'm excited about today's show. So let me ask you, Tech. So last week, ChatGPT, OpenAI rolled out their AI agent. Have you used them yet?
I haven't used it, but someone introduced me to it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Sabrina users.
Yeah, I've used it once, and I actually used it for today's presentation. Very interesting. It's gonna get some getting used to. So what I did with it, so what I did was I had it initially go into my Wall Street Journal account, and it was supposed to go inside of my account and scan the business exchange section and then make a read of the top articles that it had. For some reason, it had a really, really hard time logging in. even when I took control and I tried to log in myself, there was still some problem. So I was running into interference with that. Then I had to create the presentation slides that you're going to see today. That was light work. That's something that it could have done without the AI agent, right? Because Canva is integrated with ChatGPT. So I haven't really cracked it open yet, but it does look pretty powerful, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, anything they come out with is going to be useful. I actually thought about switching over from ChatGPT and using Google VO.
Oh, really?
Thought about it. I mean, as you know, you put in so much work with ChatGPT, you got to log into your Wall Street Journal now. So that's pretty amazing. But at the same time, you know how they have VO has the video creator,
Yeah.
and you know I played around with that, and it's pretty amazing, especially with what I want to do with my new YouTube channel. So
Yeah, the video creator, I have been looking at VO. I did create an account with them. I forgot how long it's like an 8-second video that it'll let you do unless you buy one of the plans or something like that. So I do like the type of videos that it's making compared to some of the other programs that are out there. I mean, man, this era that we're living in is super dope, bro. That's all I can really say. It's like it's the dopest thing I've seen since the invention of the internet and laptops.
yeah, that was exciting too. I remember that time.
They now and all right, tell me your take on this. And ladies and gentlemen, please join in the conversation. I'd love your intake on this as well. Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. So I know you've been using HeyGen for a while. You might not be using them anymore, but you were one of the first people I knew using HeyGen and a couple other programs. Have you seen how people are creating their own influencers now to represent their products or services?
Yeah, I've seen those videos.
What do you think about that? Like, do you now influencers popularity is actually growing, right? And influencers, their brand awareness, the content is becoming larger and larger, and they're becoming more and more expensive. They're becoming the new celebrity Hollywood celebrities, right? So people are paying top dollar to people like Kai Cenat and iSpeed and these guys. What do you think is going to look like as people start creating their own influencers?
Yeah, that's a good question. I always feel like, see, this is always holds true. What is old is new again. What was working in the 70s and the 80s, it dies and then it comes back around. What I think is going to happen is eventually people will get sick of these, no matter how realistic they look, it's not real. I think people will crave the authenticity, the realness of somebody who's speaking. So even if they have these AI generated influencers, it does help with being able to, what you always say is omnipotent, be in these different places all at once and to replicate yourself. It helps with that. But I don't think anything will ever substitute the real thing. So yeah, I used HeyGen from really long ago. I was introduced to it from Sebastian, from Spin City, his name is Sebastian, but he goes by Spin City Digital, and he put me up onto 11 Labs and HeyGen. Like, this is like years ago, guys. So, and I still have some videos up there, but I use it. And even then, it was a little clunky, but it's got so much advanced nowadays to where people can just do it quicker. They're just much faster now. But I always feel like it's a trend. While it's happening, a lot of people will jump on the trend and then they stop. And then they'll go back to whatever, or they'll jump to whatever is trending next. I remember like the baby avatars were really popular for a second. And then people were doing like the podcast. And then you see like the Bigfoot. I like that. That one's pretty funny. The Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot is funny. I love the Rasta monkey.
Yeah, like
that's my favorite, dude.
Those are cool.
Definitely my favorite.
Those have some lasting power because it's obviously not real, right? We know that's not them. But when you do it of yourself, and to me, like, come on, it can help with spreading the message, but I don't think it will ever replace, or I don't even really think it can only increase. It replaces like a Coca-Cola ad budget where you see their advertisements at the movie theater, at your house. You know, you see it in sports arenas, and so you can do that same thing and have your image everywhere. But I just can't see how, if I'm looking to spend money with you, I'm looking to buy something, not just trying to get awareness, but I'm looking to spend money. I need to see you.
You made a really good point though. So these guys that are using Bigfoot and the Rasta monkey, and they're obviously doing a traditional thing, which is called critter marketing, right? I forgot the guy that actually started it, but this is the guy that was putting, Tony the Tiger on for Frosted Flakes, and he would put a frog for Sugar Smacks, and you know what I mean? He was that guy that invented it, and it has grown into the Geico playing the Geico commercials and stuff. So I think you have something there. It may not necessarily replace the human person, but actually creating a character like the Bigfoot, the gecko, the Rasta monkey is definitely a scroll stopper, right? There's another one that I love. It's this older chick. Her name is Dirty Diana. I mean, she's supposed to be this rich elderly woman, but she speaks like a young chick. So talking about how she's gonna meet up with her sneaky link, and she gonna go pop bottles with the girl, and she's clearly like 86 years old, and this is AI. But she jumps on the video saying, "Hey bitches," like it is hilarious. And what I saw is, even with the Bigfoot, that there was a dental company that actually purchased the Bigfoot to represent their dental company.
Okay.
To make a dental commercial out of it. So the critter marketing, that might be a move. That might be a wave, bro.
So
with this AI.
Okay. Yeah. The Dirty Diana, is she representative of a real person?
She represents a real person, but the way she moves is like I won't say the way she moves. The way she talks is of today's generation. It's like, no way would she really be talking like this.
But is there a real Dirty Diana, a real life Dirty Diana?
No.
Okay, so she doesn't represent a real person then. Okay. I guess what I'm trying to see is she's entirely fictional.
Yes.
Okay.
But they put a real storyline to her where the lines could be blurred there. Right? It's comedic. It's entertaining. It's very easy to promote a product in there.
What is she promoting?
And you're not paying Dirty Diana nothing.
Is she promoting anything?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, people are hiring Dirty Diana to promote some stuff. Let me, you know what? Let me see if I could pull it up, bro. It is absolutely fascinating.
I think there's a difference between, see, to me, like, or you said this quote when I thought it was fascinating. You said only two people who use social media, business people and losers. So if you think about it, my question is, okay, if this is just for entertainment purposes, that's perfectly fine. If you own a trash hauling business and then you replicate yourself, you create an avatar of you. It's a representation of you. It obviously looks cartoonish, or it has these features that may be exaggerated, and then you have it go out and do things. I think that's cool. I think it has a place, but I don't think it can replace. Put it this way: would I spend money on a cartoon version of a owner of a trash hauling business versus somebody who I can look at them, I can see them, and then they're actually speaking. And would I spend money with that person versus the AI version of that person? I think, to me, so that's why I think, well, are you wasting your time by creating an AI version of you? I don't think so. I think because you can upload a script, you can have it speak, you can have it act. Of course, it's going to take some fine tuning to get the story in the picture exactly how you imagine it in your head. But I just think about, like, I'm getting somebody who's going to redo my driveway. He's going to repave the driveway and then repave my backyard. So this is a contractor work. It's a lot of money. And I'm thinking, if this landscaper, this hardscaper, has a cartoon version of himself versus the landscaper who I can actually talk to, I can see them, would one sway me in one way versus the other? I think for what we do for Notary, it's kind of cool. I think it could work. I just think it's a trend. Most things are a trend, and it'll come back later on.
Okay, so this is her. It's actually Dirty Darlene.
Okay.
All right. Let me pull up one of these videos, man. These videos are hilarious, man. And this is completely AI, bro.
Waitress.
What would you say if a man asked you what you bring to the table?
I'd say I'm not a fucking waitress.
What would you say?
Did you see that?
Yeah. He said, I'm not a waitress.
He said, I'm not a fuck. Dude, she goes off on these things.
So this is somebody who's, okay, so I see how it's done. It's cool. Like, they just type into ChatGPT, come up with some lines, and they're probably uploading this into, like, Hey Jen. They got the avatar there or the video, and then they create this the scene.
What's
And,
up,
this
hoses,
will be easy to do.
Darlene? My friend is getting married, so we're headed to fucking Miami.
This is her 7th try. Hopefully it works out. But I'll take any excuse to get blacked out. What happened to that 24-year-old you were seeing?
He cheated on me, so I'm dating his dad. He now calls me mommy, huh? 33 fucking thousand for a drink and a Birkin. Now that's what I call a good deal.
The girls are all sleeping and I'm hungover as shit. Miami really takes it out of you.
At least I can't see my haters from here. What's up, hoes? It's Darlene.
Bro, this shit is... This is the influencer thing that I'm talking about, bro.
Funny. That's cool. I see. It makes sense, man. To me, it's it's emerging markets, right? You see another avenue that can unleash your creativity. Now, I've seen some other cool ones too, man. I've seen I've seen the Bible, the biblical ones. When they go back in the past, those are cool. I've seen I've seen the side chick. That's
Mhm.
cool. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna come up with the next one? I think those are cool.
Yeah, this is very interesting how things are unfolding. Um, like, and you know, I look at the notary business, right? And as for notaries, maybe some of us do not want to get in front of a camera, right? And you know, we don't even want to talk into the microphone. This is perfect for them because they now can create and, you know, just take the time to create their own influencer that represents their business. And it could be a very professional setting, it could have some humor to it, and they're not paying an influencer a gooble amount of money to represent their brand, and they can recycle, you know, this influencer as many times as they want. So
Yeah,
it's a game changer, man.
that's I agree mostly with that. The only part I disagree with is that you got to get in front of the camera. I don't think you can
You think
replace
so?
yourself. I think you
In this day, you think you have to get in
and
front of a camera?
people got to see you, man.
I don't
They
think you
got to
have to
see
get
you.
in front of a camera no more, bro. I just because I've seen there are channels on YouTube where it is 100% faceless, and it is clearly 11 Labs that is using this voice prompt thing, and then what they're doing is they are generating content off of people that have been deceased. For instance, there's a channel just on Napoleon Hill. This guy's been dead for God knows how long, but there's a brand new channel that comes out with new content and is basically mimicking what Napoleon Hill would say in today's era. How would his philosophies translate in today's era? They do it with. I've seen one for Machiavelli. I've seen one for Sun Tzu. Like, these people have been gone for a very long time. Zig Ziglar. So these people don't even exist anymore. But these channels are booming.
Okay, what are they selling?
Some of them are selling ebooks. Some of them are selling daily motivation apps. Like, you sign up for their app and then you get this daily motivation notification to your phone or your laptop. Selling all kind of stuff. They selling t-shirts. They sell, you know what I mean? They selling hoodies. They selling keychains. It's just, I don't know. A couple of days ago, I was watching a bunch of Machiavelli video tutorials. Like, I didn't know nothing about Machiavelli, but it popped up on my timeline and it was completely faceless. I probably watched like a good 5 hours of that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what he was on. That was his temperature. Because anytime I think of Machiavelli, I think of Tupac.
Oh yeah, the Don Illuminati.
Yeah, I immediately associate him with that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're living in a new era. I sent you a list too, Tech, of Microsoft just released a list of the 40 jobs that are going to be replaced by AI by 2030. I don't know if you had a chance to see that list or not.
Yeah, I saw the list.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, it's coming. You know, just Google it. Google Microsoft releases the job list that will be replaced by AI, and see if your job is on there. See if your job is on there. So we're gonna go into our slide presentation today. Now, mind you, this was created by ChatGPT's new AI agent. So you guys could tell me what you think about this. It's okay. To me, it's okay. I have a little more pizzazz than what they're showing, but that's just me. So wowing clients, luxury hospitality principles for notary success. Now, I had to do a little bit of research on this because I said, this isn't for everybody, right? This isn't particularly for my personality type. I'm a little more aggressive with the way I approach my sales. I go for the close and then and then I do an excellent job and try to work repeat business like that. But what I did for you guys, I pulled up the 5 different type of personalities that this presentation would work perfect for. So here are the 5 personalities that work great for this. This is for the white glove visionary, where presentation isn't extra, it's an expectation. The second personality is the social butterfly connector. You guys should know what a social butterfly is. The corporate chameleon is the third personality. This is the person that can speak fluent boardroom. Number 4 is the experience designer. Every signing is a stage, and they look at it as they are the director. And then the last personality would be the efficiency queen or king, where the luxury is convenience, consistency, and speed. So if you fit those type of personalities, this presentation is for you. Tech, I don't know if this would work for you as well. This is more of the, if you find yourself taking a fruit basket to certain clients, that this might gel very well with your personality.
People still do that?
Yeah, they do. They taking gift cards and cookie baskets, all kind of stuff, bro. So we'll skip the agenda part. So there's the problem and the opportunities. So a lot of notaries, and tech chime in at any time, bro. The commodity trap, right? This is where many signing agents, notary publics, mobile notaries, whatever you would like to call yourself, they see themselves doing just this transactional thing. Their competition is driven by price instead of service, and clients forget who helped them last. They don't even remember your name. They are basically a commodity. Now, the luxury opportunity here is your modern consumers crave personalized service. Tech, you're really good with personalizing the service. You always mention their names. Their name is in the emails, the follow-ups, and all of that good stuff.
All day.
And a memorable story. I never thought about this until they actually put that in this slide. When you're doing the notarization, there is a story attached to that. Wouldn't you say, Tech?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time no two appointments are different. That's why the call script is so crucial, and that's why when somebody asks you how much you charge, you shouldn't answer the question. You should never answer how much you charge. You should always ask, because they're going to reveal something. Go through your script. Who's signing? Where are you? What type of ID do you have? Something's going to come out of that. They'll say, well, here's the situation. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. My mother's in a nursing facility. My dad just moved here from California. Mm-hmm. I got a plane to catch, getting ready to fly out. Personalize it, customize it, because it is a personal industry. This business is highly personal.
And with that said, like that is a story, right? Now, if you're able to make it a memorable story, they won't forget you and they'll definitely use you again. So what that does, it creates the loyalty and it commands a premium price, which we all want to do. So what are some of the ways that you would create a memorable story for your clients, Tech?
Huh, man. So it starts from the very moment you answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So they answer the phone and say, how much you charge? You say, so me, I always like to take the comedic edge, but certainly let me collect a few details from you and then I'll recommend a solution for you today. All right. So already I'm creating a story. It doesn't sound like very much, but just because number one, I don't answer the question. And then number two, I respond with a type of statement that doesn't indicate that I'm the person who's delivering the service. Now, in plain English, let me say it in plain English. Stop saying I.
Yeah.
Oh, I can help you with that. Oh, I'm not available at this time. Let me look at my schedule. Right. That's not the appropriate way to respond. So I say, certainly. I don't say yes. I don't say absolutely. I say certainly. Right. Certainly. Let me collect a few key details from you, and then I could recommend an exceptional solution for you. From there, then they'll say yes. Then I go into my script. Who is signing the document? Then they'll tell me it'll just be me, my wife, and then my 2 sons. I say, great. What type of identification do you each have? Well, my son, he's going off to college right now. So here goes the story. My son's going off to college and he needs to get an apartment. So we're going to sign the lease agreement. My wife, she has a passport and I myself has a valid ID, driver's license, whatnot. Okay, great. What city do you guys live in? You know, we come to either your home or your office, wherever if you live near a coffee shop. Oh, great. I didn't know that. So yeah, we actually live in Oakland. Cool. Okay. So here's the next step. So this is a mobile service that we have here. We actually travel to you. If you're calling from your phone number, your cell phone, we send you a text message. Once we get that message, then you'll be able to find out a time that works for you and your family. And once you get the confirmation and the payment's been processed, then prior to the notary arriving, they'll let you know about 30 minutes before they arrive. That way it's not a surprise. Do you have any dogs at your house? Anything that we should know about? You have snipers, you have security gates, right? And then it builds this entire human interaction. So that's the image that I'm painting for the client. And that's exactly what I say every single time.
Yeah, I think like for me, what if I'm running the appointment, that's when I shine. When I get into their home, I mean, like it's showtime, right? I think that's one of my one of the personalities that I described on there. Like when I get on there, it's a stage, and it's like, okay, it's showtime. It's time to knock their socks clean off, right? And you know, just noticing the small things, maybe a beautiful painting or a nice vase or, you know, a certain type of dog, and I actually know the breed of the dog, right? Just little things like that to be like, wow, this guy is really personable. I can see myself having him come to my house every time I need to get a notarization. So that was that's usually the energy I'm bringing in. Like when you need another notarization, I want you to request me without even saying it. How do I say that without even saying it, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm running the entire business, so I could run all the appointments if I want. But the perception that I gave them was they dispatched me. Now, I know for some people, it may take a little bit, it's a little bit tricky when you're going from me to we and us, right? You trip up on the words a little bit, but it just takes practice. Just keep practicing that. Instead of saying I and I will and when I get there, I'll deliver it. It gets a little bit tricky when it's
Record yourself. That's what you always say. Record yourself, and then you'll see how often you do it.
Yeah, you got to be very aware of the things that you're saying, for sure. Number 3. Let's pull up this. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now this is modeled off of luxury hotels like the Waldorf Astoria, Ritz-Carlton, luxury hotels. So my goal when I was creating this presentation was to find out how do they get people to stay loyal to their brand and spend these exorbitant amount of money to stay at their hotel. So one of the things that a lot of the hotels do is they personalize and emotion. So they use data to remember preferences. They greet the customer by name and tailor communication. Emotional connection turns transactions into stories. I thought that was really interesting, Tech. So they're using the data, and they'll find out if you're celebrating an anniversary. Like you could call Ritz-Carlton right now, and they'll say, "Hey, what brings you down to Ritz-Carlton? Are you celebrating the anniversary or a wedding or something like?" That's part of their call script. If they find out that you're celebrating an anniversary, they will roll out the red carpet for you. They're putting flowers in your room. They're putting a handwritten card in there. They may even bake a cake. Like I really researched these guys, right? Another thing is the anticipation and surprise. They think ahead, anticipate needs, and deliver thoughtful surprises. This was the cake and the flowers that I'm talking about. They add little touches like a child bike or a rescued suitcase became legendary. That was a story that somebody like lost a suitcase and they like hand delivered the suitcase back to them. Like they took one of their employees and then they had the employee drive hours to give back the suitcase. So it was that type of, because what they're seeking is the emotional connection. When they know that most hotels would say, yeah, we have your bag. You got to come back and get it. Right? That's what most hotels would do. But Ritz-Carlton took one of their employees, said, get in the car and drive this to the customer. And then that story became the story that became legendary, which is the suitcase story. Anything to add so far, bro?
Yeah, there's a book that former CEO, chairman of Ritz-Carlton wrote. I actually have it behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there it goes right there. Yep. Excellence Wins. Yeah, Excellence Wins is what it's called. It's a great book, man. See if I can point out. Yeah, Excellence Wins. And
what is that?
It's see if it shows up. It doesn't really show. Horst Schultz.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great because it talks about leadership and it talks about why when other hotels, listen, you got all types of choices for hotels. Mm-hmm. You can go cheap, you can go expensive, but why is it that Ritz-Carlton continues to be amongst the best? It's because of what you just explained. those different personalizations and the way that the person gets greeted is from top to bottom, man. And I like the way that my notary business, I adopted some of those steps into my notary business.
Mm-hmm. The other two you guys could read, just pause it, and then you guys could read the immersion one and then the sustainability and wellness one. So we'll move on to the next slide on that one. Okay, so that's the forgotten bag. These are the 5-star stories you guys can actually read. Let me move ours so you guys can, just pause it, read that. Those are some of the stories that they have, how they went above and beyond the call of duty to do these things. So again, ChatGPT created these. The AI agent created these. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's a bit wordy, but it's okay. So know and personalize. Let me see. I'm a cherry pick. I'm a cherry pick the good ones. Anticipate.
So how would you apply this in the notary industry? Like if somebody forgot their ID or no, actually not forgot their ID. I mean, there's a notary who sometimes he forgets to write down the person's ID number. And then he called me and asked me if I could call the client and asked him if I could set up a time where he could go back and get the person's number. I said, no, man, no, I'm not doing that. But if you think about it, so when you call a client back,
mm-hmm.
and you have to, whenever, so let's say the client calls you and say, listen, the notary who came out was very nice, very courteous, but they forgot to put their title and the document was rejected by the bank. Can you send someone out so that this can be fixed? And will I be charged again? Right? That's something that's happened to me. So in this case, first of all, admit that you were wrong, that this is your mistake. This is on you.
Yeah.
Right. And what do you do in terms of, do you charge the client for them to have the document corrected? In that case, the answer is no. And here's the reason why. We always talk about the pricing. The price is built so that in the event something like this happens, you can actually send the person back out, or in worst case scenario, you have to go back out there and do it. I've had to do this. I've had to correct people's power of attorneys, and I would do it myself just to show, like you said, if it's showtime when you go there, it's like a stage, you're performing. There was a time where one of my notaries refused to sign the power of attorney because he talked too much.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying how he didn't feel comfortable signing his power of attorney because the person signing it didn't understand what they were signing. So I told him, so the client called me and complained. So I told the client, yeah, we'll correct this. That shouldn't have happened. And matter of fact, I want to send out one of our best notaries. And it was me, it happened to be me. So I went out there and corrected it.
Yeah.
And that person is thankful. You know, you get to the family's house and you find out that this shouldn't have never have happened.
Yeah.
And then you admit that mistake.
Heck, I've had notaries that would argue with the clients, bro. Like, and I know exactly why that is. Like the notary made the mistake and they would argue with the client when they caught the mistake and asked them to come back out. And you know why they would argue with the client, Tech?
Why?
Because they didn't charge enough. They didn't charge enough to absorb that second trip. So they spaz out. They're like, oh, well, you know, I don't know. You're gonna have to meet me halfway. You know, it's ugly. It's ugly. Real bad look. For this slide, the two that I really like, now all four of them are really good, but the two that I like the most is the comfort and empathy, where it says create a warm, comfortable signing environment. There are times that notaries will, like they're putting on an FBI jacket and they're interrogating these people with the light over their eyes, right? And that makes it very uncomfortable, makes them very uneasy. Now, offering beverages, because we're mobile, unless you got to go open up their refrigerator and say, hey, you want something to drink while I grab me something? You probably ain't gonna do that. But for those that like to have little trinkets and gifts, having a pen, I've given out, I use a pen called Tool, T-U-L. My clients absolutely freaking love these pens. I love them too. And every time they sign their name with one of these pens, they're just like, these pens are amazing. And I would give it to them. So I would give them a pen. And to this day, one of my clients still uses that pen. And it's 1 year later. So things that would be memorable like that, greeting the clients by name. And then this last one, I wish I did something like that. I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it, was the handwritten thank you notes. I think that would have been a phenomenal touch. If I was able to send something like that to clients, golden. I think that
I did that.
Golden. You've done that before?
But I was trying to sell them on feature services though. It wasn't.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah. I would do that for somebody. Oh, so if you don't know this, so I have a financial services business. So there was a client who was a VP for a solar company once, and he would always have documents from his company signed, and it was always at his house. And for what it's worth, he was Ethiopian, and his wife was a nurse, and then he told me about his daughter. And so every time I would meet with him, I would always ask about his family. And then one time I asked him, because I'm always upselling, right? I always tell him about the next product. I said, have you ever thought about planning for your daughter's future? And he says, what do you mean? I said, well, in the event that you guys move or she wants to go to college, you ever think about saving for her future? He says, yeah, man. Matter of fact, my wife's been talking about that, but we haven't gotten around to doing it. See, I just kept that on mind. And then I told him, yeah, that in addition to Notary, there's other services that we offer. And next time I'll bring some work. I'll have some work sent to your mail to you, if that's fine with you. He goes, yeah, okay. So I wrote a handwritten letter, and then I put it in the mailbox, and I sent it to him. And there were some flyers in there as well, or some invitations to schedule appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, doing it for everybody, I think, is excessive. I don't think that's necessary. I think for people who you see opportunities to actually offer them. So if you meet a truck driver in a Walmart parking lot, I don't think that's necessary, right?
Right.
Yeah, probably obvious, but for people
but you do have access, you do have their address because you wrote down their address in your journal.
Yes.
So it still makes a powerful gesture though, because especially if you know and this goes back to the data. If you know this person is a truck driver and you have a nationwide notary agency and you'd be like, hey, we can notarize it anywhere you are, being that you're on the road, you use that data and you mention that in that thank you note, be like, hey, you're probably on the road right now, seeing the sites. Just wanted to say thank you for going with U.S. Notary Agency. By the way, we are a nationwide agency, so if you ever need a notary anywhere in the United States, we can help you out with that. That's a good seed to plant.
Yeah,
that's a real good seed to plant. The other one that I like on here was the anticipate and prepare. I'm just gonna cherry pick on this one. The arrive early. If you are on time, you're already late. If your appointment is for 4:00 and you arrive at 4:00, you're late in my book.
How early should you get there?
I get there. Me personally, I get there at least 10, 15 minutes early, but I won't walk to the door until 5 minutes to. I actually, survey the land, right? And like, all right, just for safety purposes. And then after I do that, like 5 minutes prior to the appointment, I'm already ringing their doorbell, and I'm early.
This is for commercial or residential?
Both. People get robbed in front of commercials too.
Robbed by the client?
No, like I know notaries that their car got broken into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The laptop got stolen because they parked on the wrong street. Like they weren't aware of their surroundings. So yeah, I'll swing around the block a couple of times to see if it's like copacetic. They ain't nothing, nothing alarming, and then handle my business, and then I breathe after I'm done, because sometimes you never really know how long you're going to be in a client's house.
Yeah, matter of fact, if you can, this might sound counterintuitive, but if you can stay out of people's houses, I would stay out of people's houses.
Why is that?
I would, because you don't know you don't know. Now, most of the time it might be okay. You might not have a problem, but if you can do it somewhere else, do it somewhere else. You don't know what's going on in people's houses. Matter of fact, they may not want you in their house, or at least not for very long. So if you could do it like in a front room, or at least
is that your experience? Have you
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've never experienced that.
Yeah. Some people's houses aren't very clean.
True.
So you don't know what goes on inside their house.
But at least for me, those people that don't want you in the house, they'll meet you on the porch, or they'll do it in their garage.
I would prefer that. I would actually prefer that.
Yeah, but I've never had too much resistance on the inside the house thing. It'll just be like, oh, we got a lot going on right now. Can we do it in the garage on the hood of the car? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's faster that way. And,
but are you saying that notary should suggest somewhere other than the client's home?
Meeting outside? No, because that's not my business model. The client decides where to meet, and now we're going to meet them there. But if there's a way that you can stay out of their house, then don't be opposed to it. Put it that way. If the client suggests we don't meet inside the house, don't suggest that we do meet inside the house. Mm-hmm. Go with that. Stay out of their house.
All right, cool. So before we go into the marketing and retention part, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Opus Clip turns your long form videos into short clips in one click.
Opus Clip is powered by AI, and it can create 30 clips in 15 minutes and outperform any manual video editing by saving 90% of time and tons of money. Opus Clip is so hot right now, it's like trying to get tickets to a Beyonce concert. So get Opus Clip now. Don't be the person who hears about it later and goes,
dang, I should have listened to Tiger Toledo.
Go ahead. Be the cool one in your squad. Try Opus Clip today for free. Just click the link in the description. Okay, so marketing. Sabrina does a great job of this. It's a client-centered website, clear services, transparent. We don't do the pricing thing online. We actually don't suggest that. You want to tell them why we don't suggest the pricing thing, Tech? Putting pricing on your website?
It's never going to be the right price.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And every notarization is basically customizable, right? Like somebody could be getting a power of attorney, at 10 o'clock. That's a morning, appointment. But then somebody else is getting a power of attorney at 3 o'clock, during rush hour, and it's at a hospital and also needs a third party witness. They're both getting power of attorneys, but some are a little bit more customizable. So we do not suggest putting pricing on your website, but the online booking, absolutely. Payment gateway, very important. Google Business Profile and directories for visibility and reviews. You guys should know about that already. Social media, testimonials, educational videos, if you have any, and targeted ads. Content marketing, answer common questions to build trust, and specialized services. That's one of my favorites. That's really where the money is at. If you could specialize in a specific type of document type, you can notarize all documents, by the way. But I'm just saying, if you can show that you have a specialty in something, it makes you that much more desirable. Tech, anything on that?
The one thing about specialized services is no matter what you specialize in, at the end of the day, it's just a notary. Now, how you deliver the notary is going to be the estate planning. It's going to be the power of attorney. It's going to be the remote online notary. On initial contact, the person who's calling you just needs a notary. Answer that question first. Can you notarize it? Can you help that person? Do they have an ID? Do they have the documents ready? Are they physically accessible? Do you have to do it remotely? Right? The person may not have ever heard of a remote online notary. They may not know what the difference between an estate planning notary versus just a standard notary public, because there is no difference, right? So focus, just get that part first. Get the notary part first. You guys who go into these specialties, I've seen these people say, I'm an estate planning attorney, mobile notary. What is that? What is that? So that means that a person who's not an estate planning notary can't do estate planning?
Right.
No, it doesn't. Just do notary. Just do that. You have a hard time getting clients, it's because you're niching down before you even get to the damn start line. Like, the notary part is the first part. Get that first.
And I will add on to that as well. The best way to know what service to specialize in. This is not random, ladies and gentlemen, where you just say, hey, I want to specialize in this. No. That is not how you do it.
That's how most people do it. I just want to pick that.
Yeah, no. What you're doing is you are running a survey of what is the hottest document in your respected city and state. Me being here in Illinois, there were 2 documents that was just on fire. It was affidavits and power of attorneys. I did more of those than anything. So right there, the public told me what they want me to specialize in. And I became a specialist at that because that was the hottest document smoking. So I know if I'm lined up with 5 other notary businesses, let's say all of our websites pop up at the same time, but I say that we specialize in power of attorneys and affidavits, 9 out of 10 times they're probably going to select me because I am a specialist at what they're looking to get. So it's not like I'm saying apostille and I get like 1 apostille per month. That wouldn't be a smart choice to do. And I'm a specialist at a apostille. No.
So let me ask you this, because this is what you said is so critical, but I can see somebody getting confused I can see somebody going to the website and just writing in affidavits because, I heard Tiger TOLEDO say it. I can see that
again,
already.
they gotta listen to their city. If you're local, listen to your city. But your city will tell you with every phone call.
But take it deeper though, because when you say you specialize in affidavits, I guarantee there's somebody who listens to that. They know what an affidavit is. But are you saying that when somebody's calling for an affidavit, you know how to speak to that person? Is that what you're saying? because that person is looking for a sworn statement versus they're not just getting like a piece of paper signed. It, even though it's nuanced, it is the same thing, but somebody who's trying to get an affidavit for a lease agreement because they got to get a new apartment for their grandmother, you know how to speak. You can speak that to that person and what their situation, what they're going through.
Well, affidavits, in my opinion, are extremely simple. There's really nothing to explain for an affidavit.
No, they're not. No, it's the scenario. It's the
Yeah.
situation that they're going through. Yeah.
When I chose the document that I wanted to specialize in, it was power of attorney because that one was a little bit more loaded. So I learned about power of attorneys up and down. I knew how many different types of power of attorneys there were, what required what. I was ready. You know what I mean? It was to the point where I anticipated their questions, and if they didn't ask that question, I would already say, hey, in the state of Illinois, it's required that you have a third-party witness. Do you have one? And be like, oh, I didn't even know that. Look, okay, well, you know what I mean? And then look at your document if they had the document there. Like, look at your doc. Oh, yeah, it does say that. Right there, I have gained instant authority. So that's the power of specializing something, is because you can fast track your authority.
Yeah,
Like
that's a big difference versus somebody saying that I think power of attorneys you can charge more. So let me just say I specialize in these versus I specialize in loan signing because I don't think that I can charge more for it.
Mm-hmm.
See, your approach and the approach that we're suggesting is that it's not, don't just list the document on your website because you want something to write, as in what your specialty is. Do you have a power of attorney yourself? Do you have an estate plan yourself? This is how you're going to know the language to say or to speak the different types of documents, and not saying the variety of different types, I'm saying the different types of power of attorneys. And that way, so somebody says, yeah, my auntie, she's right now, she's, she just had surgery and she's just now coming out of the hospital. And I've been paying her bills for like the last 2 months. The bank told me that I need to have a power of attorney so that I can stop paying her bills and that I can have my cousin take over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that that's a different type of power of attorney versus just a generalized or durable medical power of attorney? So that person may not know what that means. But you can now speak to them a little bit. Your language and the tone changes because now you're familiar. Or put it this way, at least you're not scared. Put it that way. Because if somebody says a type of power of attorney that you never heard of, because there are a lot of them. If somebody says a power of attorney and you've never heard of it, are you going to turn that client away because you've never seen it before?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But,
how many people
you know what I mean? Like, but here's also another bonus when you specialize in something, right? So if a person was getting a medical power of attorney and it was the hospital that suggested they get it because they want to release medical records or whatever, you can easily suggest, hey, have you considered getting a financial power of attorney? Oh, I didn't even know that existed. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
like
the same.
Specializing in something opens up. I used to think, Tech, because I was in sales for so long, the more you specialize in something, the more you cut yourself off to money. And it really isn't like that. It opens up so much more revenue to you when you do specialize in something.
Yeah, agreed.
Retention. We'll go over this real quick. One of the things that I do want to point out with retention is one of my favorites was the bundled services. So we have the loyalty programs, bundled services, and preferred booking times, right? You do something great. I do it also. We would create a designated landing page for certain type of clients where they would bypass a lot of the, rudimentary questions that we would ask a first-time client. They'll be like, hey, just put your name, email, your payment, and you're good. We will dispatch your notary. We already know what you like, what you normally get. That's the preferred booking, right? But then the bundled services, this is where I would shine. I would come out with the power of attorney party. But see, again, it came from specializing in a service, bro.
Yeah.
The power of attorney party was, hey, you're looking to get a power of attorney. Do you know anybody else that would be interested in getting a power of attorney with you guys? We can do a bundled service. We call it a power of attorney party where, okay, if there's a grandmother and a grandfather doing their power of attorney, hey, do you have any kids? Maybe they might want to do it. Your son-in-law and your daughter, or both your son-in-laws and both daughters. Now I got 3 power of attorney documents in one setting. How can I group as many people into one location and make the best bang for my buck? Oh man, it's phenomenal, bro.
That's a brilliant idea. That's a genius idea, and I know there's not very many people who thought about that.
And you could do that with all other services as well. It's nothing like maximizing your time and effort by creating a bundled deal that never existed before.
Yeah, there was a Japanese couple that I did the estate planning for, and they were young too. They were in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
They were each other's witnesses. It was only 2 couples, and then they were each other's witnesses for their estate, for their their trust. It was really great. They were good friends, and their kids were there. So yeah, these parties where they get these 2-in-1, 3-in-1 services, beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm. So I went over these slides real quick. You guys can pause and read through them. I just wanted to show something to you guys. What happens when you specialize in something? This is, I'm going to share the Ritz-Carlton website. Now, I don't know if you knew tech, but Ritz-Carlton has a leadership program. And this is a hotel that has a leadership program for the healthcare industry. Did you know that?
No.
They're teaching people how to bring 5-star service to the healthcare industry. A hotel is. Because they have specialized in what they call the gold standard. Now, can you see my screen or no? Okay. So check out the pricing though. $4,795 per person, bro.
Wow.
And that does not include your night stay at the hotel.
Okay.
This is what happens when you specialize and you do something so well that you can now jump into different industries and offer that same thing. So if tech, like you're in the financial services, heck, for you to offer a power of attorney would be nothing to that client. Well, you're getting this insurance plan. Have the family put together a power of attorney, trust package, and all of that other stuff. You have specialized in all of those categories.
Yeah.
So Ritz-Carlton offers this program, and they do it all over the United States. 470 $4,795 per person, and then it's $445 a night that you'll stay, and that's for 2 days, bro. 2 days.
Wow.
I got another one for you that you'll like. This one is one of my favorite stores, Starbucks. Now in Chicago, we have the largest Starbucks roastery in the world right now. It's called Starbucks Roastery Reserve. And I'm going to share that screen with you guys. Did you guys know that you can go to one of these Starbucks roastery places and get a tour? You see where it says book experiences and tour at the Chicago Roastery?
Oh, wow.
They will give you a tour and show you how the story behind espresso, right? Look, the ultimate shrine to all things coffee, the roastery unique multi-story design has unforgettable experiences on every level. So they're creating the story behind how the espresso came about, where espresso came from, coffees and different type of roasts. And you know that they're charging $95 per person for a tour.
Wow.
This is a company that sells, if you were to buy a coffee, the most expensive coffee you're probably going to spend is like, let's just say $15. They found a way to extract $97 per person out of people, as well as the coffee.
Oh, God. I bet you people are lining up to do this.
Oh, yeah. They have sold out many, many times, bro. And they have multiple tier stories, experiences that you can get.
Damn. I bet this is just a tourist fantasy right here.
But it shows you the possibility. When they tell you think outside the box, this is what they're talking about. Somebody came up and said, do you think we could start making money off of giving people a tour and just sharing the story about how espresso and frappuccinos came about? Do you think that we could take the Ritz-Carlton way, which is the golden standard of hospitality, and go into the medical field with it? This is you could do that with the notary business.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Yes, people are probably wondering how, right? You're like, how would I do this?
Creativity.
Easy. Start with the phone call. How about that? People always talk about make sure you pick up your phone. Oh my God, it bugs the hell out of me when people say pick up your phone, because that's all they say. Well, what do you say when you pick up the phone? So what would a company like Ritz-Carlton, what would they say?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How would they answer the phone? You could implement that exact call script into your notary business, because
absolutely,
just picking up the phone, just somebody saying just pick up the phone, that alone telling me that this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Expand on that. What does that entail?
Mm-hmm.
Your professional greeting, your qualification, disqualification, your closing. So go deeper to that. So this is how I would. So the Starbucks method, right? Mm-hmm. How could you use that into your notary business? You're talking about how do you allow the person to you sell like a $7 coffee, but then how do you get $85 more out of that?
Right.
Hey, same company, same. It's just a different experience now. Okay, so you're talking about specialized times. You're talking about rush delivery. You're talking about this does include shipping, does include printing, and in the event that it gets rejected, we can come back out, handle it no charge, and at the same time, it's still the same company. You can bundle the packages together. You do it for a month. If this is something that you do very often. I'll talk about the car dealership, the Toyota dealership. That's a couple of blocks from my house. Cars get stolen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
These theft affidavits have to get signed. You do about 12 of them per month. Well, instead of paying me $130 12 times, how about you just subscribe for $95 a month, and we'll just keep that going for the whole year. No matter what you sign, you're still going to get that recurring payment, which is the key nowadays. Recurring payment. So
And
the solutions are
we actually do the tour thing in the notary business already. We call it a walkthrough, right? During the phone call, that is a tour. You're basically giving them a tour to say, okay, this is what's going to happen next. You're laying down the agenda for the tour. You're going to receive a link. You'll put in your information. Once you put in your information, at the tail end of it, there's going to be a payment gateway. Submit your payment on there. After you submit your payment, there you'll receive a confirmation. That is the tour.
Yeah.
That's the tour.
That sure is.
Tech, what are you doing today, man? You doing money corner or are you doing pass the trash?
Yeah, I'll do a quick money corner right now, and
Okay.
maybe I'll do a quick money corner, and maybe we will skip past the trash. But I remember somebody wanted us to do their pass the trash last week. Somebody said,
Yeah, it was a guy. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But
I'll make a quick money corner.
Yeah, let's start off with the money corner. Let's pull up the money corner stage, and then hit text intro.
Yes, this will be good while the baby is still asleep right now. Okay, guys. So welcome to the Money Corner. This is the section of the show where we help notaries who are business owners give them a level of security that most middle-class families probably are missing. Now, what to do once the payments are done and the end of the month arrives? I think the Money Corner is a way for me to help notaries, particularly, understand finances a little better so that they can then manage their life with less issues and less confusion. The one topic I don't have anything prepared for you guys today. I just want to talk to you guys. I just want to make this kind of a quick check-in with you guys. As you can see, I've got my son with me. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to share with you guys what I think is getting ready to happen, because I don't know if you guys know this, but based upon what we shared with you guys today, especially with that course that the Ritz-Carlton holds for people in the health club industry, that course, did you see the cost of that course? Do you remember what it was? It was $4,795. That was just the material. And then if you want to stay in a nice hotel, it's $495 per night. So that's 2 nights. That's over $900, almost $1,000, just to stay at the nice hotel, not including the course material. Guys, the price of things are going up. You want to take your family to Disneyland? You want to buy a new vehicle? Does the septic tank in your house, did the plumbing go out? Is there a birthday coming up? That's not even including the cost of what it is just to save money. If you guys haven't realized yet, we're at the very beginning of what's known as the Great Wealth Transition, which is the baby boomers, people who are born ages about early 60s to late 70s, 80s. These people not only have reached age of retirement, but they are getting ready to transition into the afterlife. So once they die, the immense amount of wealth that these people possess, these are your grandparents, maybe your great grandparents, maybe, but not likely, but most likely either your parents. If you're between the ages of like 30 and 55 ish, these are probably your parents, right? But if you're younger than the age of 30, 35, these are probably, we're talking about your grandparents now. These people are getting ready to either retire or getting ready to die pretty soon. During the 60s and the 70s and up to about 1980, there were programs that this country implemented in order to help these people buy homes. And there were the type of industries that exist where people would stay on jobs for 20, 30 years, and then they would retire with these pensions. So the majority of the people today, the boomers is what I'm talking about, the majority of the people who had their working years through the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe they retired in the 2000s, and now they're getting ready to, transition on. The majority of their wealth was built up through either the home ownership that they had in their primary residence, through their pensions that they attained from their working years. Perhaps they purchased some stock equity in some companies, so they've held on to these three areas of wealth building for almost 30 years now, 40 years almost. And now it's getting ready to transition, or at least to be transferred on to either to you or is getting ready to be transferred. If you're younger, it's going to be, you're watching this, it's going to be transferred over to your parents. As notaries, what we do in facilitating that wealth transfer is we notarize estate planning or legacy planning documents. This includes trust and revocable trust, and also power of attorneys. All of these processes that we are involved in, we're part of this great wealth transfer, in case you didn't know that. And we help to facilitate the transfer of this property. Now, my question is, what are you getting? What are your parents transferring on to you? If anything, what are your grandparents transferring on to you? If anything, is it nothing? Are you getting nothing upon their transition? Have you set up anything for your children or for your spouse or for your family thinking down the road? Because as we see, it costs $47.95 for you to attend this specialized conference held on by West Carlton so that your company can make more money. It costs $95 for you to walk through the Starbucks Reserve so that you can have, or you can be entertained. Your family can go on vacation and then do something that's unique and that you can only find in one place. You can only go to Chicago. You can't go to Oakland and do that. Or if you want to travel outside of the country, you want to go to a beach, or you want to stay at a nice hotel, or you want to drive a nice car, you want to drive a Tesla or a nice Lexus or a Toyota, you want to wear nice clothes, you want to eat nice food, you want to live in nice neighborhoods, you want to go to nice events and have your kids go to nice schools. The price of things is not going down. Every single year since the year 1980, we've seen this dramatic increase in the cost of consumer goods. When was the last time you replaced your refrigerator in your house? It's probably been over 10 years. For some of you guys, it's probably been over 20 years since you've had a new refrigerator. But the last time you purchased a new refrigerator is probably less than $1,000. The rate for refrigerators these days is well beyond what you previously spent for them. Now we can protect these appliances and these things with warranties and insurance products and things like that. But how many of us insure our lives? How many of us protect the very thing that helps to keep what I like to call the ship floating? In the next few years, what's going to happen is you're going to see this incredible increase in the cost of not just goods and services, but consumer products. If you're in a position where there's not going to be any inheritance gain, you're not going to have any type of wealth transferred into your life, either by your parents or your grandparents, I'm afraid to say that you might be thrust into this permanent underclass. I'm just keeping it real with you guys today. I'm that's why I don't have anything prepared. I just want to speak to you guys. We are now in the very beginning stages of the greatest wealth transfer this country, this world has probably ever seen, because so much wealth was built up between the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And it's due to government politics. It's due to the estate tax that's been increased every single year. And for those who don't know, because I know I'm speaking a little bit more intelligent than we normally speak, and there's some people who may not be getting what I'm saying, but the estate tax, or was commonly known as the death tax, when you die, you don't take your money with you. You don't take all of your valuables with you. You don't take your debt with you. That is transferred to somebody. Somebody's got to pay for it, and usually your heirs or your remaining family members do it. But in the last 40, 50 years, what has quietly happened, and we know this because we pay attention to this as notaries, is that the threshold, let's say it was $500,000, with Trump's new bill that just passed, that threshold, which was about $500,000 20, 30 years ago, it's now at $15 million. So what does that mean in plain English? That means that if I have a house and I have 3 stock portfolios, and I've got a life insurance policy, and I've got an annuity, and I've got a pension, and let's say the value of all of those assets combined, let's say it's about $13 million. That means that when I die, that this boy right here, is he's gonna absorb all of that wealth tax-free. See, 30 years ago, it was at $600,000. So that means if I had an estate that was worth $13 million, that means that the first $600,000 of that $13 million would be transferred tax-free, and then the rest of that $12.4 million would be taxed at a 50% rate, or at a 77% rate, or at a 60% rate. But today, no, that entire 15 million will be transferred at 0%. That means that there's going to be an entirely new, in the next 10, 20 years, there's going to be a new entire wave of rich people who didn't do anything for it. Are you a part of that? Are you setting up your families to be a part of this? Or are you going to be left behind permanently? Because there won't be a way to catch up. Those of us who have businesses, who are building businesses right now, that might not be enough to catch up. So, of course, I'm not going to get your blood pressure raised. I'm not going to, deliver all of this doom and gloom, because this is reality. I don't consider it doom and gloom. I'm giving you a dose of reality. But I'm going to leave you with a solution. There is something that you can do. 2 things, actually 3 things, but I'm going to really wrap up the first 2 into one. First thing you should do, number 1, you can solve, if and here's how you know that this problem is something that you should pay attention to. If you should go right now, like today, and ask mom or ask dad, or ask, if you're younger, ask grandparent, grandma, granddad, ask, hey, am I going to inherit anything Or what? And if I am, then what is it? Am I going to inherit this house, this paid off house, or this semi paid off house? It doesn't have to be 100% paid off. You know, if am I going to inherit this house with the mortgage? Am I going to inherit somebody's death benefit on their life insurance policy? Am I going to inherit somebody's stock portfolio? And am I going to inherit? You can't inherit a pension, so that's impossible. But here's what you can do: you can take somebody's pension and you can roll it over into a Roth IRA, and then a Roth IRA could be passed down. If you didn't learn anything today, you learned that somebody's pension, once they die, that pension goes along with them. But if you roll that pension over to the Roth IRA, and by the way, I can give financial information. I'm not one of those guys. I'm licensed by the state of California, Department of Insurance, to talk about financial concept. So I can say this. I'm not one of those people who say this is just for educational purposes. I'm not that guy. I'm telling you facts because we love you guys. We care for you guys. And I guarantee you've probably never heard this before. So two things. I would go and ask my parents or ask my grandparents, what do I stand to inherit? Number one. That's the first thing I would do. And then you would take an inventory of what it is that you're getting ready to inherit. If you haven't done that, then you're already behind the ball because this has already started. Number two, second thing I would do, and I'm being 100% real with you guys here. You can solve poverty in one generation. How, Tech? How could you do it? No, it's not with the lottery. You can't do it with the lottery, okay? No matter what you think, you can't do it. Here's a more practical way to solve poverty in just one generation. How do I know? Because I've done this, right? Get insurance, okay? Stop acting like you guys are allergic to insurance. The way that insurance has evolved over the last 10, 20, 30 years is something just like your cell phone has evolved over the last, and cars has evolved, and your television has evolved over the last 20, 30 years. You know, you're not sitting you're not going up to the TV and changing the channel with the damn knob. You actually can change the channel with your cell phone nowadays. Same thing happened with banking products and financial products. They've all evolved over the last 20, 30 years. Get insurance, number one, on yourself. All right. Take care of yourself first. All right. Then the people around you, your loved ones, your spouses, your family members, your children. And then here's the most important part. Get your family members protected. Get your parents and your grandparents if they even qualify. Not everybody qualifies to get protected. So you want to at least fill out a questionnaire. You can scan that QR code right now, and I can have a questionnaire sent to you. Fill out the questionnaire to see if you even qualify for these things. And then at that time, so I'll give you an example. So I have a mother who's 65 years old. She can get covered with, and I also have a brother who's a year older than I am. So once my mother passes away, she's not going to give away anything, right? You have nothing, no inheritance in plan. But let's say my mother passes away and she has a $150,000 death benefit on her life insurance. Now, I went from getting zero to now with this massive wealth transfer that's already underway. It's not getting ready to happen, it's already underway. Now this 150,000 can be split between my brother and I. So we each at least minimum walk away with 75,000. This is going to help us in the next 10 to 20 years as people's houses, the cost of living goes through the roof. The median price for a house is now around $600,000. And the cost of sending your kids to college goes up through the roof. The cost of a Tesla or a Toyota goes through the roof. You used to buy a car for $8,000. Now a brand new Toyota costs $50,000. Now the cost of to feed yourself, groceries goes through the roof. You think because you have a six-figure income at your job, you think that's going to solve that? It's not going to solve it. The main reason why is because that six-figure income that you go to work for 9 to 5, 5 days a week, is taxed at 40%. So you don't actually walk away with the six-figure income, do you? You actually walk away because of the income taxes that are imposed upon you and you don't really know about. You can't write it off. You can't offset it with anything. It's taxed at 40%. So like I said, the estate tax has that rate has gone up to $15 million. Children are going to be inheriting massive amounts of wealth. 0%, they're not going to pay anything on it. This is an ultimate failure of policy in our country, and it's also an ultimate failure of preparation. People are not prepared individually themselves, and then also we've allowed politicians to just come into office and not do anything for us. But the richest people, the top 1% in this country, they've looked out for themselves. We're here to look out for you. It's not too late for you to do something, but it's damn near it. It's the window's closing. Let's just put it that way. The window's getting closed. So listen, there's a QR code at the very bottom of the screen. At the very least, if you listen to anything that I shared with you today, scan the QR code, have yourself take a questionnaire so that you can figure out if you even qualify, if you're even eligible to get yourself out of poverty, or if the people around you can qualify. You don't want to be in the next 10 years. This is what you don't want to happen. You don't want to be in the next 10 years asking yourself, how come nobody told me? The last thing you want to do is ask yourself, look at yourself in the mirror or look your family in the mirror and say, how come you had an opportunity to do something and you didn't do it? Again, scan the QR code. We can talk for 15 minutes, bounce some ideas off each other's head, and give you some direction on what to do. With that said, we love you guys. We hope you guys got a lot out of this. That concludes today's Money Corner. And I hope you guys soon.
Dirty engineer boy. Circle it. Circle it.
Yeah, I just have to get that off my chest, man.
I see, man. It's good. It's all good. Hey, man, at the end of the day, man, we're just adding value and we're bringing, some much needed knowledge. You're qualified to speak on this. So I thought, it would be a great segment for the people to speak on. But we do have some demos that we have to be doing, Tech. So let's leave the people off with this. If you guys would like to book a demo of Sabrina to see how Sabrina can help you in your notary business, there's a QR code on here. Scan it with your phone if you're watching it on your TV, smartphone, or you can go to heysabrina.ai and book a demo with us, and we'll be more than happy to show how Sabrina can help automate a cutting-edge system to your notary business. Meaning she handles the communication part. She does the scheduling. She even takes payments and sends follow-up, personalized follow-up messages. That's what you want in your business. You want a system running your business, not you running your business. Remove yourself from the bottleneck. This can help you out with that. It is designed by notaries for notaries. Book a free demo. See what she can do for you, and we'll see you on the flip end. Any last words, Tech?
Nope, that's it, man.
Peace.
As a business owner, you're juggling a lot, and managing phone calls can quickly become overwhelming.
That's where Sabrina, the AI voice automation that turns calls into clients, comes in. Imagine having a reliable 24/7 assistant that never misses a call, handles routine questions, schedules appointments, and directs important calls to the right people, all without needing a human touch.
This frees up your team's time to focus on what really matters, saves you money, and ensures every customer gets a consistent, professional experience. It's like having an extra set of hands, so you can focus on growing your business, not just managing calls.
Scan the QR code to book your free demo today.